Hello, good people. Good people. Let me just go ahead and open up my stuff so I could see. So I could see real well. If you can hear me and all is well with the audio and the video, drop me a message so I know. So I know it's real. Hit up in the comments if you can hear me good. So I know that it's real. See y'all. Hi. Hey, Lynette. You can hear? Excellent. Good to know. Good to know. Glad to know. Grateful to know. All right, good people. We are here today on a very specific assignment. Within the realm of the spiritual streets. Hi, Kiara. Within the realm of the spiritual streets, honey. The spiritual community. More in particular, I'm not going to limit this to any culture. But within the spiritual community, because it's applicable in all ways. I was sent on specific assignment by my Orisha head, to rectify and reiterate the ways in which we delve and deal in. Hi, Corey Hardy. Bonjour. Corey is very amazing. I love the way he spells his name. Cori. Corey is amazing. Corey is an amazing designer, fashion designer, okay? Entrepreneur. And we are anxiously awaiting all of his wonderfulness to rise to the surface, so that we can buy and share, okay? And I might have Corey on here one day. I'm gonna have my other friend Corey on here, but I want this Corey to come on the show. Anyways, there is a certain spiritual code of conduct that we as spiritual people, spirituality practitioners, readers, if you're a reader, you're a psychic, or you are a intuitive coach, if you are a spiritual life coach, there's a certain way in which we have to conduct and hold ourselves because of what we represent, right? Corey said, what did you say, Corey? LOL, stop. My Scorpio rising has a hold on me right now. Gotcha. Come on, Scorpio rising. Ooh, my best friend's a Scorpio. You Scorpios. You Scorpios. But it's good. Well, I guess it is also your spirit telling you, just hold on, wait a minute. So you'll be able to have the opportune time to do what it is that you need to do. It's a spiritual code of conduct that we must operate in. That is not negotiable. It's not negotiable, okay? That's just the way that it is, and things will not be the same. The fact of the matter is, I have bear witness both to spiritualists who have big platforms and spiritualists who do not have big platforms, and from coming into conversations with people who have turned to spirituality after realizing the organized fault and manipulation of major religions, okay? They've switched over to spirituality and have taken their essence, their connection to the spirit, to the universe, to the world, to God, in their own personal way, which is the best way. But that's another conversation. But they are being turned away and turned off by this stuff because those of us who have answered the call and who are showing up to represent something larger than ourselves and are ushering in people into this, we're not doing the right thing. I'm not going to say me. Y'all not doing the right thing. And I've had my mess ups and my slip ups and things before, but not doing the right thing, not showing up in the correct way, not showing up as if you represent what it is that you represent. Let's get clear on something. The moment the spiritual work becomes about proving, it's wrong. The moment the spiritual work becomes about ego, out of order. The moment the healing work becomes focused and driven by funds, out of order. Because your purpose and your calling is something that you would do whether or not you got paid for it. That does not mean that you shouldn't get paid for it. But what then starts to happen is you start to shift, detour, determine, create spiritual messages, words, businesses, tools, gifts, products that are rooted in greed. And that is one of the 7 deadly energies, greed. Because that's coming from the anti-energy spirit of lack. You think that there isn't enough, so you want to get everything that you can get. And that is out of order. Plain and simple. And to those that may watch this in the past, and well, in the present or the future, honey, I don't really care what you think about that statement, because I'm here on assignment, just like you are here on assignment, and I'm coming to tell you that it's out of order. I'm not saying that your readings and your sessions can't cost $150 or $200 or $300, however much you charge, that's okay. But when you are only living in your spiritual realm because of the money you can make from it, it's out of order. It's out of order. Some of us are connected to working with our orishas or higher level energies and things like that who represent universal principles. Uni is one. Verse is word. Hear me now. One word. This is applicable to all and to every one. So the moment you start to start segregating, separating, you are anti-universe. The moment you start to separate and exalting either yourself or others above, and you don't understand that the spirit is horizontal, honey, and is vertical only because of its horizontalness, you're out of order. Spirit is one, it's wholeness. Understand? I was reading this wonderful spiritual code of conduct, honey, by none other than, it's from the book Tapping the Power Within. This is by none other than Dr. Ian Van Zandt. And I want to go through some of these spiritual code of conducts. These code of conducts are not just for individuals who work and operate and have taken on a leadership role in spirituality, but those of us who are actively practicing spirituality, honey. Okay? Because the way a lot of you have been operating has led me to ask,
who raised you? Who raised you? Who raised you? Who raised you?
Who raised you, honey? The streets, girl.
Oh, the ghetto! Oh, the ghetto!
And we have to get ourselves in order. The code is judgment free. It is the I am principle, which acknowledges every individual as a unique expression of the creator, creatress, or the creator and creatress, or the creator and creatrix of the universe, on a mission to serve the whole. I repeat that. It is the I am principle, which acknowledges every individual as a unique expression of the Creator on a mission to serve the whole. Okay? Not the separate, not the chosen people. But the whole. Not the people who go to your church. Not the people who are in your religion. Not the people that just look like you. But the whole. Let's continue. For it says the following principles compose a code of spiritual conduct that will result in the purification of the individual for the evolution of the entire group. This is why I mess with Dr. Yana Van Zandt, honey, because she's sickening. Let's continue. The first element of the code of conduct is unconditional love. Unconditional love eliminates fear. The non-judgmental acceptance and practice of goodwill for yourself and all others exactly as they appear to be in the moment. I want to focus on one aspect of this. The acceptance and practice of goodwill for yourself and for others. Why are you hexing people? Why? Why is it that you're speaking word curses against people? If you are a spiritual person, you understand how everything that is occurring and happening is a necessary step for the unfolding of the universal plan. So why are you hexing people? Why are you speaking word curses on people? Why are you sicking the spirit on people? Don't you know that the person that you're dealing with or that you're mad at were in a certain condition that was distracting and deterring from who it is they really are and who they are destined to be? Don't you know that, spiritualist? Oh, but because they have offended you, you have lost all sense of your purpose, your divine knowing, and your wisdom and calling. Got it. Unconditional love. To see everyone and everything as extensions of yourself, and to act towards others as you would want them to act towards you. Let me repeat that. Unconditional love means to see everyone and everything as an extension of yourself. Universe is all, and that is all that there is. You just think that when you are hexing, talking down on, attacking, sicking the spirit on people, you just think that that's somebody else. But everything is everybody. All things are energy and all things are connected. So what you do to them, you do to you. What you do to them, you do to your children. What you do to them, you do to your parents. What you do to them, you do to your grandparents. You just think because y'all are in two separate bodies, two different lives, grew up, came from different parents, that what you do to them don't happen to you. Is that what the girls, is that what the girls think? Because I'm gonna pull up the Carfax. Because we like to deal in Carfax here. Please hold. Honey, let me play the girls some music while we wait. Okay, good. That's good. So now let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and stream and share my screen because I want us to be able to see this in the flesh, in real time. Come on, mini dance break. I want us to be able to see this, honey, in real time. I make this the full screen, honey, so the girls will see this in real time. The law of reciprocity, which is intricately connected and harmonized perfectly with all universal law, initiates and creates an unwavering and unfailing process which reciprocates, meaning to give and take mutually or to return in kind or degree. An unwavering and unfailing process to give and take mutually or to return in kind or degree. Unwavering process. Meaning, you talk bad about these people, you tear down this person, you invest your energy into this person. That is what you are going to receive back because that is the law of reciprocity. That doesn't change because the universal laws is the true words of God because they don't change. What it is that you do unto others, you do unto you. The saints, the old folks will say, you point one finger, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. Old principle. So we go about our days, we go about our lives doing things that we justify it through our anger, which is the most misguiding expression of a feeling because we only are taught to defend. So anger shows up when we're really sad, when we're really confused, when we're really frustrated. Anger shows up. And so you are basing your justification for your hexing and your cursing and you're speaking down upon your word curse on people off of an unclear emotion. Yikes. Now let's continue. The next one. Oh, we're still on unconditional love. The surrender of judgment. The surrender of criticism. And ego is imperative. Unconditional love is evaluated by your ability in any given situation to work towards the best possible outcome for everybody involved. Let me read it again. Unconditional love is evaluated by your ability in any given situation to work towards the best possible outcome for everyone involved. It is valued by the question, am I promoting and or creating what I would want for myself? So when you sit up there on the phone, hello, this mother, he trash, everything he do is trash, nothing you ever do will work, I hate you, or you talking about somebody, whatever, okay. The law of reciprocity is saying that, no, honey, I'm going to take y'all back to The Color Purple girl. Whoopi said, everything you doing to me is already being done to you. Everything. Because that's the way it works. So do not let your evolution and your spiritual practices let you get out of control and you start turning to a spiritual thug and a gangster. Girl, acting like the spirit is some goons. What are we talking about here? There's a difference between protection and defense. Let's get clear about it. There's a difference between protection and defense. There's a difference between protection and revenge. There's a difference between defense and revenge. You can do your spiritual, your protective work, your prayer work, your root work. You can do all that protective stuff. But the moment you start revenging, you are investing your magical gifts, your spiritual gifts, your energetic gifts in a low frequency space and sitting with that because now you plotting and planning. It's out of order. Truth. Because most of the girls are telling
lies, lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
Girl, I have to ask.
Do you know? Do you really know? Did you really know?
Because the truth ain't nowhere in it. Truth eliminates the misconceptions of the ego. Let's talk about this ego stuff. Y'all get in this spirit, y'all get even in, this goes for religion as well. I only know about the black church, honey. So I'm going to say titles. You get yourself caught up in all of these titles. I'm bishop, episcopal, pastor. Or you get into these titles based in your spiritual gift. And you think because you were given a gift, you now have privilege. And your ego inflates because you're connected to the spirit. You found out your purpose and somebody hasn't. And so now your ego is inflated, has taken over. Okay, so then guess where you start working from? Your inflated head from your mind. And your mind is where all the trauma is, honey. Spirit is spirit. The spirit's not brain. You start working from your mind. And your mind is not aware of the things that your spirit is aware of. That's the reason why you don't understand why you're doing stuff today or why you have to go through it, because your mind is unaware of your soul contract. But you have allowed your ego to inflate itself beyond measure. So much so that you are now delusional. You are now delusional. You now think that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can curse people, honey. You could be evil and reckless towards people. You think you can do all this stuff and just the spirit is going to just, oh, the spirit, it's the spirit that loves me. The spirit loves me. And so now you can behave any type of way. You out of order. You're out of order. Because you don't really want spirituality. You want privilege. And I hope that hurt everybody's eardrums. Because that's what it does to the spirit. Y'all don't be wanting spirituality. Because spirituality is universal. Spirituality means even the people that you hate. Even the people that has hurt. Is my microphone? Even the people that you hate. Even the people you dislike, the people that's done you wrong. Right? Even those people are worthy and deserving and are children of the cosmic mother and father. Even those people you hate. I know you're surprised, girl. You're shocked. I know that you're shocked. But even the people that you dislike are children and are extensions of you. Children of the same creators, the same spirit. That means you have to operate in a way that is, again, what do we say about unconditional love? Befitting of the whole. Stop saying you're spiritual when you really want privilege. You want to be exalted above. Ooh, the cosmic mother comes and speaks to me, honey. Ooh, Oshun loves me. Ooh, Oshun loves me. Girl.
Do you think I'm gullible?
Girl. No. It's out of order. It's out of order. Let's continue. The immutable laws of the universe that are in alignment with the mind of God as they operate in the physical world reality. Not to be confused with what you know or believe based on your knowledge and experience. Let's be clear. The truth is the truth, and it is not limited by you. I ain't never seen it happen. You don't have to see it happen. Do you think you need to validate truth? Have you lost it? You don't need to validate truth. A life of spiritual integrity and empowerment requires you to know truth, accept truth, speak truth, teach truth, and seek truth. Ooh, yeah. Let me read that again. A life of spiritual integrity and empowerment requires you to know truth, accept truth, speak truth, teach truth, and seek truth. Truth is not what you believe based on your individual belief system. Now, the girls don't like to hear that because the girls are doing the same thing that they complain religions are doing. You think the truth is only what you believe. And anybody who practices, operates, does something in a different way, honey, you like, you want to turn your nose up at them. You left Christianity or you left these religions because of the way they was treating the people, and you turn around and treat the people like that. What we're having here is an elitist mindset. The truth is the universal laws, just like the law of reciprocity, which is what it is you put out, comes back to you. Okay? The truth is consistent throughout the universe because it reflects the spirit. Period. And let's separate truth and fact. A fact tells you what? I could tell you that this fact that men identified in gender, and I don't know if that's correlated directly with sex as well, but men commit suicide 3.4 times more than women do. I could tell you that fact. And that tells you what is happening. The truth tells you why. The fact tells you what's happening. The truth tells you why. Truth tells you why. The fact is, men commit suicide 3.4 times more than women. The truth is, because of the malpractice of masculinity, it is truly toxic and has become toxified and has toxified the mind, the body, the environment, and the spirit. That's why. Because of supremacy and privilege. That's why. And feelings of inadequacy and lack because of supremacy and privilege. That's why. But we just want the facts. We want the facts. No, I don't want the facts. I want the truth. Let's continue here. The truth is evaluated by what am I thinking, saying, and or doing. Is what I am thinking, saying, or doing a reflection of what I know about the nature of God or of the universe and of the spirit? That's how you check yourself. So, would the spirit be on live cussing people out? Will the spirit be wishing ill on people? Will the spirit be gossiping about folks? Absolutely not. This spiritual integrity. Let's talk about it. No, I'm going to talk about it later. We'll get to that. Next word. For those of you who have tuned in now, honey, on the live, we talking about the spiritual code of conduct that both spiritualists and readers, people who are in spirituality and people who are in religions, you need to follow this. Point blank period. Let's continue. Willingness. Let me tell y'all something. Don't do nothing for me that you're not willing to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Because another thing that's coming across here on this, in this spiritual world is by virtue of your work and of your help, okay? People are asking folks questions, asking people for help and guidance. And then we want to turn around and tell somebody, you don't pop attitudes with people because people are requiring or asking of you what you are saying your purpose and your destiny is. Oh, it's cute when you can put it in your bio. But when it comes to you showing up, it's cute for when you can make a Facebook or Instagram post about it or retweet and share something and hop on TikTok about it. But when it show up in real time, you got an attitude. Are you crazy? You are saying you are a spiritual coach, or you are a spiritualist, or you're a good human being, or you're someone to talk to. Then some people come to you with some stuff to ask you some questions. And just because you wanted to be off of your spiritual practice today, you are rude and ugly to them. You out of order, and guess what? It's going to crumble. You out of order, and it's going to crumble. Point blank period. Point blank period. You're out of order. Willingness, the ability to accept what happens in the moment as a divine order of what needs to happen. Yes. So that's from the spiritual side, from the spiritual leader side, right? But let's hear that again. The ability to accept what happens in the moment as the divine order of what needs to happen. Not to be confused with willfulness, or doing whatever you want to do. Willingness is to surrender, is the surrender of self-centered desire. Guess what? You're not always going to be able to do what it is you want to do. You do not get to take up your purpose and calling and then tell the spirit, no. That's tough. How are you unwilling to do what it is that you are called to do? I don't want to go through. I don't want to experience it. I don't want to do. Let me tell you something. If somebody would have told me last year that through my spiritual journey, I would be having to save. I would be on, girl, you need to leave this man because this man is literally going to kill you. The spirit just told me. Now I'll be doing sessions and people's unborn child or child that they have lost has come forward. Now I have to have a conversation and mediate a conversation between them and their unborn child. Or the spirit of people's fathers that were abusive comes forth to apologize to their children. That's not something that I want to talk about. I would rather talk about the fun stuff. I'd rather talk about that. But guess what? That's not what this work is. Same thing with those of us who are trying to elevate and grow ourselves spiritually. Elevate. Go to the innerlightspot.com, honey, and get y'all sickening elevate candle, girl. Get y'all elevate candle and your elevate tea bath while we talking about it. You want to be in a better spiritual place, honey. You want to be able to go to the next level, honey. You want to be able to learn what my gifts is. I want to know my past life, align my chakras. You want somebody to come to align your chakras. You don't want to stop drinking. You want somebody to align your chakras, but you don't want to stop doing the things that put you in a depressive state. You want somebody to come and do a reading for you, okay? but you don't want to become disciplined. How does that work? Oh, it doesn't. Let's continue. Willingness eliminates limitation of thought and action in response to misperceptions of reality. Guess what? You're not gonna... What happened? I feel personally attacked. Well, shots fired. Come through. Yes. Look here. It eliminates limitation of thought and action in response to misperceptions of reality. You don't know everything. You don't know why the Spirit is telling you to do that. So you being unwilling and unknowing, girl, you sitting up here telling the Spirit what you is and ain't gonna do, honey. And you don't even know why the Spirit. Most of us in this spiritual walk have gone to places and we thought we were going to a place, girl, for one thing, and it'd be a whole different thing. We thought we were stepping into and doing a practice for one thing and it'd be for a whole different thing. You don't know everything. Excuse me. You are not aware of everything. Because you know in your soul everything. Because your soul is a part of spirit, which is everything. But you are not aware of everything. If the Spirit brought it to you, the Spirit has brought it to you so you could go through it. You are not aware of every single thing. So for you to decide to be unwillingness, your unawareness, hear me, is the misperception of reality because you don't know what this is about. That is the misperception. You don't know what this is for. So stop being unwilling to do stuff out of your unawareness. Stop that. That's foolish. It's foolish. And guess what? The Spirit don't have to tell you every single step. Spirit don't have to tell you every single step. Spirit don't have to tell you every single thing. Nothing. Y'all come to readers want us to spell out exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, Spirit don't want us to do that. Because the lesson is in the living, which is the book that's coming out, honey. Stay watching, girl. The lesson is in the living, honey. So the people of the Spirit's not going to tell you every single step. You're going to go outside. This is how much you need to put in your bank. And once you put this in your bank, you need to take 3 steps to the left. Sneeze, girl, and go pee. The Spirit is not going to tell you that. The Spirit will give you the information that you need to know to be the most successful that you need to be. Willingness means doing whatever is required in alignment with spiritual law, whether you want to or not. It is an act of faith and is evaluated by the question, is the will of the Spirit greater than my will? And this is what the gag is. You and the Spirit got the same will. You and the Spirit got the same desire and want. You're unaware of it. That's why you have to get out of your mind. Unblock your first eye, honey. And step into spirit. Because you are going off of what you think, not what you know. You're going off of what you think and not what you know. You and the Spirit got the same will. You and the Spirit do not have the same wants. You and the Spirit got the same will. But you and the Spirit does not have the same wants. Because your wants come from your thinking. Because you wouldn't want if you knew that you was going to get it. Let's continue. Righteousness. Righteousness eliminates manipulation. This is the reason why Abatai wanted me to make this video. Righteousness. The right use of your mind, speech, talents, and resources to the service of the highest good for yourself. Y'all are out here lying, cheating, deceiving, manipulating, confusing people for your own selfish wants. Y'all are out here, Ashe Ilegua. I don't know if y'all hear the train. Oh yeah, the message is coming through, girl. Y'all are out here doing the wrong work. You know how that you are a master manifester. And yet you're cursing people. You're speaking evil over people and to people. And you know that you're a master manifester. You know that you have a powerful tongue. And yet you're speaking ill will over people because you're angry. You crazy. You've lost it. You've lost it. You are misusing your mind, baby, when you are focused on nothing but negativity. You are misusing your mind when you run yourself ragged thinking about all these crazy ass scenarios. You run yourself ragged. Honey, I like light bulb be right underneath my logo. You run yourself ragged because you are not using your mind right. When you keep your mind obsessing and running and replaying over and over again what that muck said, they said this, he said that, she said that, you run yourself ragged. You're not using your speech right. You ain't using your speech right. You ain't using your talents or your resources right. You hopping on doing readings so you can make some money to go to the club. You hopping on, you up here on, girl, you up here throwing these bones, girl, at the speed of light, honey. Because you need to buy some weed. What is going on? What's going on? You did the live not because you were called. You did the live not because you were called, honey. You were doing readings not because the Spirit told you to do readings, honey. And this is not to be confused for those of us that do readings as our business. So those of you who do readings and that's your job, honey, yeah, that may be that may be something that makes you money. That's what you do, but that's not why you do it. That's what you do. That is not why you do it. Nor was that why it was gifted to you. Reading, spirituality, spiritual gifts, Reiki, are not a job. It's a calling that can make you money. But it is a calling first. Y'all are misusing your gifts and your talents. You're misusing your mind. You're misusing your mouth. You could be encouraging somebody, yet you're too busy going off cussing out people. What you don't understand is, because of the law of reciprocity, when you invest negative energy, you get that back to you. An investor in a business, right, is giving a certain amount of money for ownership of a thing. So when you invest in something, it's not a separation. When you invest in a mess, you are owning a percentage of that, meaning that that is an attachment. When you invest in mess, you are owning a percentage of that. That is an attachment. It's an attachment. It's an attachment. So when you go into prayer, you like, Spirit, God, whomever, anything that's coming up against me, strike it down. And all of a sudden you look at your bank account and it says 0 funds. Because guess what? Girl, you was the weapon, honey. Yikes. You was the enemy. You. Because you haven't been operating righteousness. When you tell the Spirit, whatever's causing weight, block it, destroy it, and all of a sudden you lose all your stuff and you in an emotional place, you can't get your mind right? Yeah, because you was your enemy. I come today to tell you, we are not our worst enemy. We are our only enemy. We are not our worst enemy. We are our only enemy. Nothing can happen. Room and space, nothing can invade if there was not room for it. How do we say this? Yes, maybe you didn't make the man cheat, honey, but you did stay with him after the first time. And the second, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth, and the seventh, and the eighth. You are the enemy. You are the enemy. It stops being them. And it's you. This job, they treat me so bad. I'm depressed every day. But you have not looked for another job. It's you. These people keep doing this, that, and the third. It's you. And my ears getting stopped up. So Spirit is like, that's it, go off. It's you. You are your own enemy. You. Because let me tell you something. I had a dream that these robbers who were unidentifiable or intruders who were vague people, honey, kept entering into this house and attacking members of my family and people that I knew and loved. I could always see the people coming. But the door was never locked. It would make sense to me, it seemed to me, that if the door had been locked, they would have went to another house. Because it's not about a personal thing. A robber is going to rob. A killer is going to kill. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? We want to make this personal and about people and about specific things. But that doesn't hold any space. Because the fact of the matter is, who is whistling? Mandy, are you whistling? Girl. I'm mid-live, girl. I keep hearing this whistling like, what's going on here? Anyways, hello? And we're back. The point is, my dear, what it is that you put out, how you put it out. Just like I said earlier, you're doing it to you. And these are the facts of the case. The facts of the case. Stop that. Righteousness is not to be confused with I want to be right or I don't want to be wrong. Righteousness requires the purification of thought and desire in service of the truth. Meaning I'm doing this because this is the right thing to do. I'm saying this because it's the right thing to say. Not I'm saying this because I feel justified. Is it justice? Is it just? Is it righteous? Let's continue. Oh, now this is really going to windmill the girls. And I'm going to make a part 2 to this. I'm going to talk about this next one. And then I'm going to come back on live later and cover the other two. These next two. The next one is responsibility, honey. Responsibility eliminates blame and projection. The ability to respond with a conscious intent without doing harm. Taking responsibility for how you feel still. Or, excuse me, taking responsibility for the emotions you have still. Taking responsibility for what you did. Taking responsibility for how you did it. Taking responsibility for who you chose to be with. You blaming them for being with you as if you wasn't with them. We always trying to find somebody to put it on. That's why people had to blame the devil, girl, for everything. Because it can't be you. That old devil's trying to stop me from getting to work. No, girl, you didn't prep yourself and you woke up late. Stop that. Stop all that. They made me. How? You seen the people, they put a gun to their head, they say better do it, and they don't do it and they kill them? That is because there's a choice. Take responsibility for what it is that you do, what it is that you don't do. Take responsibility for that. Stop always sitting up here trying to blame other people and everybody else for every single thing that's happening and going on, for every little upset that you had. Cut that out. It doesn't make sense and it is incorrect. Okay? It's incorrect. You fall out with everybody and it's them. You have to ask yourself the question, why do I keep getting myself in the midst of, involved with, connected to people who eventually I fall out with? You must ask yourself that question because, girl, between you and everybody you fell out with, you was the only person that was you the common denominator. The willingness to be held accountable for every thought, every word, every desire, every manifestation. The willingness to be held accountable. Hello, Miss Wilson. The willingness to be held accountable. You cannot blame your children. Some of y'all blaming y'all kids for stuff they did when they was kids. That's crazy. Some of y'all are still blaming the dead. Girl. You are the one alive. You the one alive. You blaming your exes like you didn't choose them to be together with. Okay? You blaming your friends for everything. You 20-something, 25, 30, 45, 55 years old, blaming your parents for your current situation as if you don't have control. Once you figure out what happened and where it happened, it is your responsibility to thwart it, to redirect it, to do something with that, to know and to not do. Yikes. It's yours. And this is not a conversation on fairness, because even then you're acting out of spirit and stepping into flesh and mind. Why me? Why not you? Why not you? You're not saying why them to other people that have dealt with it. Why me? Instead of looking at it from a defeatist perspective, instead of looking at it from a victimization, understand that the Spirit appointed you to this experience because you can survive it. The Spirit appointed you to this experience because you can navigate it. The Spirit appointed you to this experience because you are still alive. That's because it was an appointment. It was something you were supposed to survive. Come on in here, somebody. The Spirit gave you that because it was something you were supposed to survive. Are you hearing me? To sink ourselves into this bottomless pit of why me, why this, why who, why that, to sink ourselves into this bottomless pit is to choose to be anti-wisdom, because you know better. You know that all things are working out for the good of you and the good of all. You know better. So to choose to behave, to choose to hex with word curses, to choose to behave unrighteously, out of rightness in your mind, in your mouth, in your speech, in your thought, in your behavior, in your day-to-day actions. You know, you have the Spirit pardoning you for your knowing your heart, but then you have the Spirit correcting and consequencing you, okay, for your choices and going against your knowing. That was the fall of man. Kind. Dishonoring the knowing. You know better, baby. So why are you cursing yourself over and over again? Unaffirming yourself. I don't deserve this. Or you didn't deserve it. But other people who did this or who experienced this, they did. The point of the matter is, this was a life circumstances that the Spirit gave you because the Spirit knew that you could take the pain and make a platform out of it. The Spirit knew that you could take the pain and make a platform on it for you and others to stand on. That's why you went through that. That's why you experienced that. Because you, the Spirit, knew that you could transmute the nature, the ugliness, the hatred, the generational curse of the thing, and transmute it into an object of transformation, an object of elevation, a platform. That's why you see me on this today. Because that was the purpose of my pain. Pain is an indication of what needs to be healed. That was the purpose of it. To take my pain and use it for my purpose. To take my pain and use it for my progress. So for me to not take responsibility for what it is I say, what it is I do, what it is that I meditate on, is to deny what my purpose is and to deny and reject the gift of the living so that I could receive the lesson. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going to do that. And neither should you. How? This is the question. How did I contribute to this situation, to this circumstance in which I find myself? Because you worry about other people's business. You worry about how the Spirit gonna correct them. How about how the Spirit's gonna correct you? Again, you start switching and using your work and your manifestation for revenge. That's premeditated harm. You worry about, they did this to me, they need to get what they deserve. How about the fact that you put yourself in this after ignoring when the Spirit sent your parents to tell you otherwise? When the Spirit sent your job to tell you otherwise? When the Spirit sent that Oprah Winfrey episode, honey, to tell you otherwise? When the Spirit sent that TikTok? When the Spirit sent the Spirit to tell you otherwise? Some of y'all have had the cosmic mother in your face, and you still don't do what it is that you are supposed to do. And you want to go back and blame every single thing and how this happened and when they did that stuff. No, blame you. Am I hitting the target? Am I hitting the target? Am I hitting the target? I know it's true. I know it's true. You've had the Orisha. You've had your ancestors. You've had your life show up to you and tell you and display to you and tell you, and for some of you, tell you why every single thing happened the way it happened and how it's working out and what's gonna happen next and how this stuff, and you still up here pissed at the Spirit. Have you lost it? You're crazy. You still sit up here pissed at life. And you don't want to take responsibility because you don't understand the reason. You don't want to take responsibility because you do not understand reason. I'm triggered. Still feeling attacked. You don't want to take responsibility. Why don't you want to take responsibility? Because you think the Spirit is trying to make you out to be wrong. You still are operating from a punishment place. The Spirit is not here to punish you. The Spirit is here to progress you. And you still trying to battle not being wrong, or you, because one thing that we could be a lot of things in public, but wrong is can't be one. You still working from this place. Stop that. That's why you don't want to take responsibility, because you don't understand that responsibility is an indication of error, which makes way for correction. We have been raised in dogmas that allow you to think, oh, once you did this, or it is this excruciatingly long, overbearing, emotionally thing to make a correction, and it's not. I'll tell you this. Why did they tell you to do math in pencil? Upon your error, that's why attached to the same thing that you... Let me preach this thing. Hold on. I want to preach this thing from a good place, girl. Attached to the very thing that you used to create the error is an eraser. Error. Correction. Error. Realization. Correction. That's how simple it is. Now, Are there other steps? Can it take some time? Yes, but you don't need to go through all these years before you decide to erase. For you decide and realize and admit, I did this wrong. You don't need to go and wait several years before you raise your hands and you say, I need help. You know that the number ain't adding up. The same mouth that you said the disrespectful, the disrespectful or the discouraging statement, whether you were aware that it was offensive or weren't aware, the same mouth that you said it with is the same mouth that you can apologize for it. And let me tell you what taking responsibility doesn't sound like. I'm sorry you feel that way, but what it was that I was saying was, don't come in with that on the back end. Own it. Sit in it. I misread the situation. I misspoke, and I apologize to you for that. That was not what it was that I meant, but I misspoke. I'm not going to do that projection thing that you all do where you don't take full ownership of your error because you working in ego and you got to tell them what it was that they did to cause you to be confused and no. Own that thing and shut up about it. Own it and say, I was wrong. I was incorrect. What I said, that was not right. What I did, it was not the best thing that I could have done, and I take ownership of that. It was insensitive. I take ownership of that. It was condescending. I own that 100%. And I'm not going to insert a but in there. Take responsibility. Because there are some things that you do that you are not aware that you did. Because it's not about you being right or wrong. It's not about your heart. It's about the fact that your mind can be operating in the lack of awareness. It's not about that, boo. It's not about, now they're going to look at me. No. Forget how they're going to look at you. The Spirit honors that integrity. To sit up there and say, the way that I expressed myself, the way that I did that, was not the best way and the most honorable way for me to do that. And I accept responsibility for that. And I apologize for you even feeling that, for me causing that. And you let them respond to you and tell you how they know your heart. Don't interrupt your apology with your defense. Do not interrupt your apology with your defense. That's not how that works. Last one we're talking about today, discipline. Discipline. Discipline eliminates procrastination. Procrastination is unpreparedness. Discipline eliminates procrastination. Repeated actions that demonstrate internal and external cooperation in alignment with a specific intention. That's discipline. Repeated actions that demonstrate internal and external cooperation, meaning what it is that you are operating with in here, you're doing it out here. There's a cooperation. If my intention is to be divinely connected and spiritually connected, what's showing up externally is my meditation, is me making my bed, is me doing my spiritual bath, is me speaking righteously. Discipline. Discipline is not to be confused with selfishness or self-denial. With discipline, thoughts, actions are manifested in an orderly and consistent relationship to goals and responsibilities. So let's talk about discipline. Some of us try to make the excuse that, I'm a different type of person. Well, sometimes I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. Okay, but is this really because you like to evolve your spirituality and try different things? Or is it because you're not disciplined enough to wake up and do your prayer or your meditation? Because let me tell you what universe is. Universe is not only a matter of fact, honey, but it is a representation of a function. Universe is one word. Universe in function is consistency. If if the spirit is the same, if the universal principle doesn't change, that is a function. As a function, that is consistency. So you do not get to be universal or spiritually connected and be inconsistent. That is the reason why that is the number one anti-energy attack, is inconsistency. It throws you off because it's not on one accord. It's not universal. It's separatist. It's isolated. It's a little bit here, a little bit of there. It's wishy-washy. That's what it is. Not disciplined. Not disciplined. Come on, train. Elegos, let me know, honey, that the teaching is teaching. The question that it is evaluated by is this: am I doing all I must do to realize my vision without harming myself or others? Discipline. Discipline. For those of you who practice in the Christian faith, disciple, followers, and practicers, discipline. We have got to get out of this lackadaisical spirituality, because the universe is not lazy. The spirit is not lazy. The spirit is not wishy-washy. The spirit does not sometimes come through. The spirit does not sometimes manifest. The spirit does not sometime anything. The spirit all the times, everything. You are disciplined about your cellular device. 1010, Samaj, I hope you're watching. 1010. You disciplined about your spiritual, about your social media life. You disciplined about this bad food that you eat. Some of y'all disciplined about sexual pleasures. Let's talk about it. Let's be real. Everybody's adults. You're disciplined about your sexual pleasures, are you not? You know that you can do that every morning or at night. But when it comes to your spirituality, you don't have time for it. Well, girl, maybe because you took time. Some of the girls are disciplined about smoking that weed. Y'all disciplined about y'all TV shows. Y'all not gonna miss an episode of Real Housewives. Y'all not gonna miss an episode of this. Y'all not gonna miss that. Y'all not gonna miss it. But when it comes to the spirit, when it comes to the spirit, yeah, I'm operating in privilege, so I know that the spirit got me. And it's going to be okay because the spirit loved me, and the spirit is all loving and forgiving. You're being manipulative to the spirit. And you let me know on the other side how that works. Because I'm not going to do that. Discipline. It's not a matter of you can't do it. It's a matter of your unwillingness to do it. It is a matter of your unwillingness to do it. Because you can. Because you're disciplined to what it is you want to be disciplined about. But we just talked about responsibility. a part of your purpose will consist of things that you may not want to do. That's it. Surgeons don't necessarily want to be in people's guts, but that's what they got to do their job. That's it. Doctors have to deliver bad news all the time. They don't want to do that, but that's a part of their job. That's a part of their responsibility. As a spiritualist, as a vessel, I operate with integrity. The reason why y'all don't see me on here doing readings, or if you don't see me on here doing readings, just like this last time, it is because I know that I was not operating in discipleship. I was not being disciplined. And I'm not going to come forth bearing a message unto you, not doing what it is that I'm supposed to do, because I'm a person of integrity. And I want to be integral with the Spirit. And so that means I need to be disciplined in what I put into my body. I need to be disciplined in what I put into my ears. I need to be disciplined in what I entertain. I need to be disciplined in what I allow to entertain me. I have to be disciplined. And so do you. Discipline is not a limitation of freedom. Discipline grants you freedom. Discipline doesn't allow for time to get away from you. Discipline. Discipline is critical. Discipline is not homework. Discipline is soul work. Discipline. I will, that's the last one that we're going to do for today, and I will hop on the live, honey, later on this week to address this other half of this spiritual code of conduct. I hope those of us who are spiritual life coaches, those of us who are spiritual readers, those of us who are psychics, those of us who are prophetic, those of us who are pastors, those of us who are ministers, those of us who are practicing spirituality and learning it, those of us who are religious, all of us have a spiritual code of conduct that we have to operate under that is non-negotiable, because these are universal principles. And the Spirit is integrity based, and that integrity is integral. It is essential to the purpose of the universe. It's essential to that. And you may do things in your own way. What you do may be different. How you do may be different. But why you do never changes. Never changes. Let's step forth into prayer. You can keep your eyes open. You can close your eyes. You can breathe through it. But let's go forth. We come forth to the Spirit, thanking you for the many ways that you have showed up into our lives, Spirit. We thank you for the many blessings that you have sent our way. We thank you for the realization, Spirit, of our faults, Spirit, of our errors. And Spirit, we show immense gratitude for the ability to create another way. Spirit, we thank you for the ability to be able to make a different decision. Spirit, we thank you for the ability to erase, Spirit. We thank you for the ability to ask questions. We thank you for the ability to realign ourselves, Spirit. We thank you for the unwavering and unconditional love that you extend to us in our darkest and lowest days, Spirit, because we realize that without you, without all, without that connection, the opposite of all is nothing. And that is who and what we would be without the connection. We're grateful for the connection. We're grateful for the correction, Spirit. We're grateful for the ways in which you are going to help us to realize the difference between right and wrong and error and correction, Spirit. We're grateful for the love. We're grateful for the open doors. We're grateful for the closed doors. We're grateful for the windows. We're grateful for all the ways in which you are going to do what you do well and have been doing since the creation of time. We're grateful for the ways that you show up for our children, both the children in the natural, the children in the spiritual, the biological children, Spirit, our inner child. We're grateful for the ways that you protect and govern the children. For it is those minds and those hearts and those spirits that will create a better representation of what you would like for us to be in the future. Spirit, we ask you that you cover our minds, that you cover our hearts, that you cover our homes, that you cover our relationships, that you cover our marriages, that you cover our finances, Spirit, with a supernatural covering that doesn't allow anything that is unrighteous, anything that is manipulative, anything that is destructive to enter in and wreak havoc, Spirit. We thank you for that supreme spiritual protection over our lives, Spirit, and over the spiritual valuables that you have so graciously gifted us to possess. Spirit, we go forth for the rest of this week, for the rest of this month, for the rest of the year, Spirit, for the rest of our lives, operating in a spiritual conduct that is responsible, Spirit, that is full of integrity, that is unconditional in love, that is operating in the universal principles that do not change. Spirit, we're grateful for your consistency. And we ask you that you create an environment within us and a space and a motivation and a fire and a drive to operate with that same consistency. It is in the power of all that is that we lift up our heads, put down our noses, take a deep breath in, breathe out, and say Ashe. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in, honey. I hope that you join me tomorrow when I have my wonderful best friends on to discuss the difference between purpose and practicality. Okay? Y'all make sure that y'all go ahead, honey, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. You share the live. You can watch this back. But for now, I'm out of here because I'm tired and my throat's gone, honey, and I'm ready to eat me some food. Bye.